Welcome to the Body Wish. My name is Chris. It's an honor to be here. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I help people achieve and maintain optimal well-being, and I use clinically proven methods to help you get there. I'd like to point this out early on because in the health and wellness community, there's always a lot of anecdotal claims made and no evidence to back those claims up. It's not how I operate. Whenever I make a claim about a statistic or a protocol, I will share the evidence with you that is in the form of a study, and it's in the public domain, so you can take a look at it for yourself. You draw your own conclusions from there. I am a believer in diet being the primary healing protocol, regardless of the health problem, and I am a proponent of turning to nature before turning to medication. I'm not against medication. I just feel that nature oftentimes is overlooked, and many times it has the solution we're looking for. This presentation is educational. I don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disorder. That's the role of your healthcare practitioner. I'm going to be talking about a number of health and wellness topics today, including holistic remedies, affirmations, and the power that they have to improve your mindset. I'm also going to talk a little bit about fatigue and brain fog. I will share a holistic protocol that will help you achieve optimal well-being, and it actually has medical studies to back it up. Imagine that. So a lot of good stuff to share with you today, and I hope you get a lot of value out of this. So I always like to begin on the path of personal development. So what am I talking about? Well, whenever we want to make a change in our lifestyle, we actually have to decide that we want to make change in our lifestyle. And it has to be a conscious effort. It doesn't just drop out of the sky. Now, I'm not saying this to state the obvious. Oftentimes what happens is people are on the outside looking in at something. Even though it's good for you, it can be very intimidating. And it's just because it's unfamiliar, and people have a way of maybe blowing things out of proportion, making it more overwhelming than what it really is. Now, my approach to doing this is to take small, consistent steps. Because when you do this, it's less overwhelming, and you're stacking up evidence that says you are who you say you are whenever you decide you need to make change. And I learned this just through my own experience. You're not here to reinvent the wheel. You're not here to build the Coliseum, and you're certainly not trying out for an Olympic team. So when you start showing up and making those small, consistent steps, guess what? It's going to stack up. You're going to start to live the life, not actually just talk about it anymore. You're going to put things into action, and that's going to help to reinforce your confidence, which is what I'm all about. Taking those consistent steps, getting the results, and before you know it, in 3 to 6 months, you start becoming the person that you were talking about, but now you've put it into action. Now, I do want to share a couple of other items I think that are very important for you to understand whenever you decide to get on a path of personal development, change your lifestyle, improve diet, improve your mindset, the whole 9 yards. So what I have on screen here, I call these the 3 culprits. And what do they all have in common? Well, they prevent the body from running efficiently. So I'll go through them right now, spend a couple minutes talking about each, and then I'm going to go into them in more detail as this presentation rolls on. Might as well start with the one above my head. That one is stress. Stress needs no introduction. We all deal with stress in one shape or form or the other. What we want to try to do is manage our stress. We want to try to not get stuck in a heightened state of anxiety. And I don't mean to oversimplify it. I get it. It's more times than not, it's harder than it actually is. But what I will show during this presentation is I'm going to show you some ways to address this with nutrition. I'm also going to show you some ways to improve your mindset. One of my go-tos is affirmations. And I do have an affirmation PDF that you can download. It's available on my channel. Just tap on the link there and put it on your phone. But I'll get into the affirmations a little bit later on. Let's jump up to the middle one in green. Toxicity is a function of the environment that we live in, and unfortunately, the environment has gotten more polluted over the decades. There's a lot more junk in the air, in the water, and a lot of these end up in our foods. And there's no upside to it because they can cause a whole lot of disruption on the inside. Going over to the left, nutritional deficiency. This has become more problematic over the decades. A lot of what we rely on for fuel, for food, for nutrition simply doesn't have the nutrients in the abundance that it once had. This is a fact. In fact, everything I'm sharing with you is verifiable if you want to go and look this up for yourself. So because we're not getting nourished properly, we're getting overfed, undernourished, and the body relies on nutrition. Therefore, if it's not getting good nutrition, the body can't repair itself as well. So I want to point these out because these three are always working together, and I made a short list of some of the health issues that people are confronted with. And I actually can speak from experience because I went through a very long period of my life, in fact, over 25 years, where I unknowingly was dealing with all three of them. And during that 25-year period, I had these very intense bouts of fatigue. And despite my best efforts to turn things around, mine actually got worse. In fact, I not only worked with a number of doctors over the years, I worked with a naturopath, a dietitian, a nutritionist. I was even coached by a chef for 10 years. So it's not like I had a crappy diet. I was eating very healthy foods. And despite my best efforts, my fatigue actually got worse. In fact, for 5 years, I woke up every morning with brain fog. I had to stop exercising altogether. And that was a drag. That's putting it lightly. What would happen is if I did 15 minutes of yoga, 15 minutes would put me in a tailspin the following day. I would wake up more tired than when I went to sleep. My ears would be ringing like church bells, not nearly as melodious. By mid-afternoon, I had an energy crash. Many times I got sick. None of it made any sense because whenever I got blood work done, the doctors kept telling me everything looks good under the hood. Well, gee, I wish I felt that way. So what happened is that 5-year period where I was actually forced to stop exercising altogether because I had to be well enough to get up, get out of bed. I ended up putting on a lot of weight. I got into a very doom and gloom mentality. I was not a happy camper. So let's take a look at what I looked like 6 years ago. So to give you some more background on myself, I'm 62 as of this recording. I'm 5'7". That hasn't changed. But going all the way back to high school graduation, way back in the Jurassic era, my weight has been between 150 and 160. And because of the fatigue and me being forced to stop exercising, the picture of me on the left actually was 171 in that picture, but I peaked at 185. And, I've said this before, I'm not the tallest guy in the room by any stretch, so 185 is way above my range. I knew all the downsides of it, but I truly felt stuck because I knew the importance of fitness. I knew the importance of having a healthy diet, but I thought these were the cards you were dealt with. Make the best of it. So not long after I peaked at 185, I was introduced to a big step forward in the way of nutrition science. And this is called a 30-day reset. An interesting story behind it, the researchers who created this system, they actually wanted to build a protocol where you eat less food, but you actually increase nutrition. So what they did was they went and studied the lifestyle habits of people who were living to 100 years or longer in the blue zones, as well as other places like Russia, Mongolia, and Tibet, where you find your centenarians, people who are living to 100 or longer. And interestingly, what these researchers discovered is that these people were eating small quantities of food, but the foods were very high in nutrition. And at the end of the day, make no bones about it, your body runs on nutrition. Your body does not count calories. Got to dispel that. That's it's kind of an old, obsolete way of approaching well-being and weight loss. So your body runs on nutrition. The second lifestyle habit that these people were doing, in addition to eating nutrient-dense foods, is they were also practicing intermittent fasting. Fasting is very important in this day and age because we have so many contaminants in our environment. So the body is just getting hit from all different sides. That's why it's important to fast, because the fasting helps to eliminate that burden of toxicity. So this is the system, drum roll please. It's called a 30-day reset, and it actually has undergone the most rigorous testing there is. These are human clinical studies that are done at universities, and the results are published in high-impact medical journals. It's very hard to get published. I'll show you a little bit of the studies in a couple more minutes. I want to just finish going through the tour of the 30-day. So there's 3 components. Remember I said a minute ago we're dealing with 3 culprits: nutritional deficiency, toxicity, and stress. Well, you can think of this 30-day as a solution for those 3 problems. So at the top we have these nutrient-dense meals. They're as easy to make as a smoothie. But don't be fooled, this is not like some protein powder you find in a supermarket or supplement shop. These are nutrient-dense meals. They have 91 nutrients. They've got everything the body needs to thrive. This is what's going to help make up for the nutrition that you're not getting from your store-bought foods. All right, down in the bottom left, that lovely red color with the different berries in there. Okay, this is what you're going to take on a day of intermittent fasting. These are nutrient-dense botanicals that help the liver more efficiently eliminate that burden of toxicity. More on that in a momento. And all by its lonesome in the bottom center, that dark-colored beverage, that is an elixir. That is made up of a number of different adaptogens, and this is what's going to help to regulate our stress. It's going to help bring us back to homeostasis. So that's it, just 3 components, no tracking calories with the system, no mental gymnastics, no using Jedi mind tricks to try and offset hunger cravings. It's all about delivering copious amounts of nutrition and detoxifying the body. It does an amazing job of doing that. So this is a summary of each one of those components. You can go to my channel and there's an info hub there where you can get a lot more information on the system. It's got everything, the ingredients, the whole 9 yards, the schedule. I'm going to cover some of that here in this video. So the meals, they're nutrient dense. They have 91 nutrients. They have high quality protein, the full gamut of vitamins and minerals, fiber, digestive enzymes, healthy fats. That is just the tip of the iceberg. The adaptogenic herbs, that's what's going to help to regulate our stress so we're not stuck living in a heightened state of anxiety. And then certainly last but not least are the energetic botanicals we're going to take on the days of intermittent fasting. I've got a calendar up front and center here to show you how simple this is to implement into your day-to-day. Keep in mind, this is food. There's no potions or lotions. This is all about flooding the body with the nutrients it needs so that it can do a better job of rebuilding itself. So, step 1, adaptogens. You take 1 ounce of those adaptogens every single morning. That's it, easy peasy. The red X's are the days where we're going to flood the body with nutrition. And what we do is we replace 2 of our 3 meals with those nutrient-dense superfood meals that come with the 30-day system. The 3rd meal is something I'll help you out with if you're not savvy in the kitchen. I have lots of options that are about 500 calories that are high in fiber, high in protein. So those red X's, those are the days we're going to flood the body with nutrition. The superfood meals with the 30 days is going to help make up for the nutrients we're not getting in our regular foods. And then, last certainly not least, are the green X's. Now, those days we're not going to have solid food, but we are going to do intermittent fasting, but we are not going to starve ourselves. We're going to consume 16 different herbs 4 times throughout the day, and those herbs will help the liver more efficiently get rid of those awful contaminants that are stored down in our belly fat, in the visceral fat cells. So what happens is on those days when we're fasting and we're taking these botanicals, by eliminating those awful contaminants from the fat cells will actually shrink in size. So what that means to me, you, and the rest of the world is you're losing weight that is done safely. You don't slow down your metabolism. You don't have to rely on Jedi mind tricks to deal with hunger cravings. It is such a potent system. In fact, it's a detox that is supported with copious amounts of nutrition. Pretty easy to implement. I'm going to show you some people who had amazing 30-day metabolic shift, their 30-day results. This young lady got on the system. Again, no tracking calories. This is not a diet. This is primarily a detox that is supported with copious amounts of nutrition. And bam, the body does an amazing job of recovering and repairing itself because you're giving it what it needs. So she didn't have to do any of the old guard. She didn't track any calories. She didn't do any of that mumbo jumbo, as I call it now. This is Curtis. Curtis is a little older than me. He's 66. Same thing, had an amazing transformation, didn't have to track any calories, didn't have to wrestle with hunger cravings. You don't get hunger cravings on this. The hunger cravings are satiated because the body's being properly nourished. Curtis was also kind enough to share some of his lab work. This is what happens when you give the body what it needs. It improves its health all around. Show you another gentleman. This is Toby. Toby actually lives in New Zealand, and we're all part of the same wellness community. And Toby had amazing results on this and still has maintained those results. That's one of the things that's amazing about the system is maintenance is really simple. You're just taking certain components of the original 30-day to maintain those results. And I can tell you as somebody who's been on the system for 6 years now, I have never put the weight back on. And everything runs like a well-tuned machine. So just want to show you This young lady had amazing results as well. Now, I got on the system 6 years ago. It came highly recommended to me. I'd never heard of it before, but I was very intrigued by the way it was described to me. In particular, I love the story about how it was modeled after the lifestyle habits of people who are living to 100 years old. What a great group of people to study. These people have cracked the code on longevity. They're doing something right. So that was where the original idea was based on, was studying the lifestyle habits of these people and incorporating it into a protocol that is actually really easy to implement into your day-to-day life. When I got on the system, I had such good results, in particular after the first week of taking the adaptogens, of loading up on the nutrient-dense meals, and then I did the intermittent fasting. Now, the fasting was tough, but the day after is where I had a very significant breakthrough. 5 years of brain fog had cleared up. I got really good sleep for the first time in forever. So everything started to improve. This was a breath of fresh air for me because I had struck out so many times previously trying to overcome this. The body did a wonderful job of repairing itself, and after the 30 days, I started to work my way back into an exercise routine, and wow, here I am now 6 years later. I am at the same weight that I was as all the way back in high school. I'm 150 pounds. I got muscle back again, got my life back. And what do you think that did to my outlook on life? It improved it. You start feeling good again in your body. So I got back into an exercise routine. My outlook on life improved. My confidence went back up. And then I started finding other like-minded people. So I found community as a result of this as well. So I've locked arms with people who are looking to improve their overall well-being. Why not? We all support each other. It's actually exciting to talk about health and wellness. Believe it or not, some people might laugh, but no, it's all good in the hood. So that's why I'm here today. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. So I encourage you, if you found this to be intriguing, go to my profile, take a look at the info hub. It's got a complete explanation of how this 30-day reset works, the schedule, like I just showed you a couple of minutes ago. It's got everything that you need, complete ingredient breakdown. If it looks appealing and you're intrigued, by all means, there's an option to reach out to me. I offer free coaching with this, and my goal is to help as many people as possible enjoy the best experience. And this system is a wonderful protocol. It's got the science to back it up. In fact, it's undergone 10 peer-reviewed studies. Every single one of these studies has been published in a high-impact medical journal. And just to say a word on this, it's very difficult to get published in a high-impact journal. These types of journals in the medical community get so many submissions that they can't possibly post all of them. So in order to get published, you got to have some rock-solid evidence that your system works. And hence, 10 studies, every single one has been published. So that's it for now. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. Go ahead and follow me. Take a look at my channel and look at the info hub and reach out to me if this looks like something you want to get some more information on. And I'm happy to schedule a one-to-one with you. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day here, and I will be back again. Catch you on the next video.